Let's see your hands in the air. Let's put those hands up. Come on, eBay, let's see your hands.
Hey, eBay! We did this. Do you like it? Do you see that? You know what that is? That's the roof. That's a drone shot of the roof. What do you think? I am so excited. It is, some days it feels like it was yesterday, some days it feels like it was a year, but it's here. We're opening the center of campus. I'm so excited, I'm going crowd surfing. What do you think? Don't even think about it. Yeah, exactly, right. I'm so, this is such a proud moment for me. It's such a proud moment for us. It feels like it was yesterday. I was standing here on a basketball court saying, we're going to do this. And I think some people looked at me like, are we really going to do this? We really did it. It's incredible. I'm so jazzed about this. You know, yes, it's just a building, but buildings are symbols. Buildings are symbols of your culture and of your brand. They are who you are in some ways and who you want to be. And when we set out to say we want to build a center of campus that's going to create energy and vitality, we thought a lot about what does that mean. And we said, I want it to be open and transparent. I want it to reflect tech leadership, but not be robotic. I want it to be human. And we wanted it really to reflect the pulse and the energy of the company with a root towards our history. We're all so proud of our history, but this is really about the future. This has always been about eBay's next chapter. And I think if you just look around the place, I realize it might be a little difficult for you to move around and look around, but hopefully eventually you will once we unpack the place. Those values, you can see it in this building. I just think we nailed it. It's such a great space for us to create the center of gravity on this campus. I'm just going to point out a couple of things for you to look at because it's going to be hard to do guided tours for 3,000 people this afternoon. They are amazing displays. These are some of the highest quality, largest displays of this kind in the world. The quality is extraordinary. We spared no expense of it. And when we're not in a program like this, this is going to be taking a live feed of what is trending and selling and happening on eBay every minute. We're also going to feature our customer stories on here, stories about our sellers and our buyers. And actually, if you go out in the front eventually, you'll see amazing stories, some of the most iconic stories of our customers because we wanted to bring that to life. It shouldn't only be at an all-hands or a big event. It'll always be there. It'll always be on, showing a little bit about the energy of the company. And we're always going to be debuting innovative technology, things that we're building, things that are on the cutting edge. I don't want this to be a special event space only. I want it to be the center of energy on the campus, and you'll see that. And finally, I said we're proud of our history, but it's about the future. And there's a really special little thing that you might see back there. I don't know if everybody was able to see it, but you know what the first item ever sold in 1997 was on eBay, right? Yeah. It's right out there. So the short story, I'm not going to retell the story, many of you saw it, but when we announced on the 20th anniversary last year, the gentleman that bought Pierre's laser pointer came forward and said, I have it. We bought it and gave the money to charity. He did, and it is in a display right out there. So if you get a chance, take a look at it. It is, if you have any ideas, it's highly secured. This is like Fort Knox over there, but it's really quite a special thing because the screen right facing here is amazing, and you can touch anything, and it's exactly what's selling on eBay at that moment. It's so technologically forward, and then you go back and you see the history of the company. It just really works incredibly well. There are a lot of people to thank, and I'm going to thank them quickly. I know we're going to have a big party here, but it's really important. You don't get to moments like this without a lot of people to thank. So let me start with, we have a lot of elected officials here and local officials, and you want to build a building like this. By the way, I'm biased. This is not the biggest building in Silicon Valley. I think it's one of the best. I think it's one of the most innovative and cool buildings. You don't get to do things like that without a lot of help from local officials and the community. And I want to thank, he couldn't be here today because he got called to the East Coast, but Mayor Sam Liccardo, him and his entire team, some of whom I am going to announce, have been incredibly helpful in the last year, getting us up and running, getting this construction happening quickly, dealing with any issues as they came about. The city of San Jose has been a fantastic partner of ours, and there's some members of the San Jose City Council. Can you please raise your hands? First, Mayor, you're allowed to raise your hand. Don't be shy. The entire council and the entire planning staffs, go ahead, now you can raise your hands. Just raise, so everybody raise your hands. There you go. We also have our congresswoman from this district who's been, beyond this building, an incredible supporter of the causes that eBay cares about. I've been working with her collaboratively for the last several years. Zoe Lofgren, Congressman Lofgren. And as I said, they've been incredibly helpful, not only in the building, but to eBay's causes as we've grown over the years. I want to introduce our first special guest who represents the local activities, the city of San Jose, everything that happened here to get this done. Pierluigi Oliverio has been, when issues came up with the neighborhood, when issues came up in zoning and planning, he was a massive champion saying, eBay is a fantastic anchor tenant in San Jose, one of the biggest employers. We're going to make this happen for eBay. So I want to offer a warm welcome and thank you and invite to the stage Pierluigi.
So thank you very much, Devin. It's a real honor to see you in action with your employees. You're a trusted leader, well-respected in all capacities. Obviously, you're a motivational force. The employees at eBay add so much value historically and today as you're going on in the future, and you deserve world-class architecture and a place to gather. As nice as the cubicles are and those small conference rooms, I think we can all admit that this is a beautiful building. I know we're going to thank the designer in a bit, but we're very ecstatic. I've been serving this area for 10 years and try to make the bridge for people to understand the value that eBay, we know what it brings globally, but what it brings locally as well. and that eBay is a good friend and a good partner of the neighborhood. And we're very ecstatic that we could get this done in short order. We have a beautiful building, and as Devin said, he wants to make it a place that carries innovation and activation throughout the year. So we're just happy for all the employees that make eBay a great company. We're happy for the investment eBay has put in the Silicon Valley, specifically San Jose, and we are just happy to be together. So thank you all very much.
I'm really pleased to introduce our next guest, who happens to be about a 15-year, very close personal friend of mine. When we said we want to build one of the best, most innovative buildings in Silicon Valley, I know there was one guy to call, and that's Ed Schlossberg. I've known Ed for many, many years, and I'm going to go completely off the notes and just tell you, he happens to be one of the most interesting human beings around. He is a painter. He spends part of his summer up on Cape Cod painting and then exhibiting his work in the fall. When he's not doing that, lately he ends up in Japan because his wife Carolyn is the ambassador, U.S. ambassador to Japan. So he spends a lot of his time dragging himself across the Pacific doing that. And when he's not painting and not helping in international affairs, he happens to run one of the most progressive architectural design firms in the world. And this is a project that is going to be a really signature project of his. He's had a couple of others. I'm going to click through a few. These are some of the buildings he did. Actually, I started knowing him because him and I did that about 15 years ago. He did the Dream Cube in Shanghai, which is really an amazing thing, which was opened a few years ago. He did this incredible space in Washington, D.C. I think you can look up some of these spaces. These are just a few of the things he did. He did the Barclays Center in New York, which is an incredible space, green, and holds a couple of the New York teams, none of which I support, but anyway. My teams are too bad to be located there, unfortunately. Here are a couple of others. I mean, he just really does. What's so great about what he does is that it's always about design and innovation, and he's always breaking glass in the best way and always building innovative things. So with that, am I going to play the video, or I'm going to invite Ed up to say a few words now? Play the video? Okay. We're going to show a short video because Ed and his architectural partners designed this, helped manage the project, and this is a little bit of what it looked like. Come on up, Ed.
It's an astonishing feeling to be here because when I visited eBay to see Devin 2.5 years ago, the thing I felt about this place was that there were amazing people here doing amazing things, and you couldn't see anything that anyone was doing or feeling or experiencing because everyone was sort of separate and quiet. There were no big places to get together, and there wasn't a lot of dynamic technology. There wasn't an interactive screen. There were a lot of things that I saw really could make a huge difference. And so the idea that this place now exists and you are using it well by all being here is a real gift. So I'm honored to be here, and thank you so much.
A few other thanks, I promise, and then we're going to tear the roof down. What do you think? Actually, not literally. We're just, I never know the way people are going to take it. We should thank our community and our neighbors. They put up with a lot over the last 11 months. This was loud. It was a construction site. we work here, they live here, and thank you to all of them. And we'll make sure going forward we're good neighbors and we invite them into the space. And so thank you to our community and our neighbors. I now have the most important thank you, and I mean it. As I described to our board a week ago, when she's not making sure we deliver our quarters, run the operating committee, hit our goals, and do all that stuff, if you want a building thrown up in a short order and a great one, you call Wendy Jones on speed dial. So I have a huge, I think we should, you're all standing, but the other person who managed this day in and day out and did a spectacular job is standing right next to her, and that's Tom Edwards from WPR. So I think we should give them both a huge thank you to both of you guys. This absolutely would not have gotten done if it was not for those two human beings standing right up there. So, okay, it is time to party, but I just want to close with this. Wow. I think I want to open with this. We are going to spend a lot of our professional lives here. This is the global headquarters of the number 32 brand in the world. It is one of the best and most important buildings in Silicon Valley, and it represents our future together. I could not be more energized. I stood here 11 months ago, and I said, it wouldn't all happen overnight, but we are going to change this company. Don't underestimate it. Piece by piece, it's happening. We're changing it, and this is just one small symbol of our future together. So with that, this is a big week. I want to stop the announcements, stop all of it, and we're going to have a great party. And we brought a great band in to play me out. Thank you all. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. And here's to our fantastic future together.